the political killing task team, according to your explanation, I don't know if they were calling it PKTT at the time when Balula was saying we need to do something with the killings of councillors and all of that in the province. And they were assembling of a team that was working on that before 2018. So before the president made that pronouncement in Maritzburg, what was that called?
It was not a team, honorable member, because you had a prioritization of the investigation on cases that involved politicians. That's what was done. But they identified a detective per police station, per district, to take those dockets. If there's a politician killed, it must be given to the detectives. But that detective was taking those dockets on top of other dockets that a detective has. So if you have a murder of someone somewhere and so forth, we have other 10 murder dockets that you must investigate. Then we have this additional one of the politician. The prioritization of the detective to investigate will be equal amongst all these dockets that he has in front of them. And a matter of fact, you might prioritize a matter of a 80-year-old woman before you prioritize a matter of a council of 30 years old. So then there was no prioritization in terms of investigation by the team. But it was not, correction, not a team, but those detectives that we identified, they were scattered all over. So they were not working as a team.
And the president then announces at Maritzburg in an ANC event, the councillor who was killed of the ANC, he has gone there in his capacity as the president of the ANC and makes pronouncement about government on how we are going to intervene.
That's correct.
And I heard you saying, wanting to differentiate between the executive authority and the politician. When does the other one take leave when the other one takes over? Because it's one person.
They're interchangeable, and that's a dilemma that we face, honorable member. I'm glad you're asking that question, because the members are going to claim overtime for protecting the executive member, whereas the executive member is on a campaign, political campaign, and addressing these political parties and the likes, using the state vehicle, using the state petrol, and using the state protection. And we have nothing else to say but to finance that, because that's what is currently the norm. Same with the president. You'll fly with the president to his private engagements, whether he goes on holiday, whether he's at a political engagement, whether he's at an official government engagement, he needs protection. He remains a president. You can't divorce it. Wherever he is, you must be there all the time. So when he then speaks, like in this case, he's dressed in the political regalia. He wears a political tie and is accompanied by his comrades, not the leadership of the executive of the province, but the political leadership. But he pronounced things of government, of what this minister is going to do, and that minister, and that minister, and that minister. So legally, if we're to ask me whether is that right or not right, I cannot answer, because he remains a president. Whether he's sleeping, he remains a president. Whether he's in a rally of a political party, he remains a president. We have a duty and responsibility to protect. We have a duty and responsibility to act on what he tells us. But of course, whatever he communicates, it has to be structured in government. I think that's why after announcing it there in that political setup on the 18th, the ministers meeting on the 21st, he came to this house in Parliament to announce the establishment officially of this interministerial committee. So I think that's where it became official government thing. He might have initiated it from the political side, but he made it official when he came here. And it became a formal structure. Maybe if we continued with that pronouncement and never came here, we will still be asking ourselves question whether was what we're doing a political decision or a government decision. But because it was confirmed in the House when the President addressed the Parliament, we take it that it was an official government position.
Now, the PKTT then gets established, you are involved, Khumalo is involved, you are running the thing. You are in charge of this team. And one morning you wake up to hear that dockets are in Pretoria of something that is your baby. What happened there? Did your own team got so compromised that when they were told to bring the dockets, they could not give you a hint that someone is calling for dockets in Pretoria? Because the way you're explaining the relationship and the engagement you had with this PKTT, it's in such a way that it's so intimate that no one can just come and say to them, do this, and then they don't bounce it back with you before they act. What really happened there? Was PKTT infiltrated and compromised, and an underground operation took place and took the dockets to Pretoria without your knowledge?
Honourable Member, I'll invite you, perhaps, if it does happen, that General Khumalo arrives here and appears before this ad hoc committee to be able to explain, because he's the one that gave the instruction to the members to bring the dockets to Pretoria. I said yesterday, and I'm saying again, I was not very pleased with him, because when all that happened, he had not told me about what was happening. So when I was engaging with him, as I was confronting him, he said, you know what, there's just too much politics. I've been complaining about SBIA ever since to the National Commissioner, but whatever I say doesn't matter, it seems like it. And the SBIA continue doing what it's doing. While this side is having the crime intelligence that he's trying to deal with, and he's having challenges there, and he's seeking assistance from the head office, from the national office, and he's not getting the assistance. So it's a man who started getting frustrated. And I think when this thing came to him, he just felt, maybe let me just get rid of this, because the National Commission maybe is not assisting and stopping it. Let me push it aside and focus on my things. And that's why he omitted to then make me away. He simply gave instruction to a colonel. He said, Colonel, go and fetch the dockets that are investigation, bring them here, as per this letter. So that colonel told the ones in Durban, they said, bring these dockets, and the dockets were transported. That's how the dockets ended up in Pretoria. When I became aware is when they wanted to bring these dockets back. That's when I asked him, because when I heard about it, I wrote him a letter. I said, I'm told these dockets are in Pretoria. How did it happen? That's when they responded to say they were moved in this fashion.
I understand that, General, about Khumalo, but your members, the individual members who are in the PKTT, who've got this high credibility and are executing the task expected as their commander, as someone that you work with, apart from whether Colonel called them or Khumalo, why didn't one of them communicate with you? Because this is, I'm trying to establish this effective machinery that you are saying. This is the most effective machinery we have at SAPS. Why is not the senior ranks, these investigators, these people who are dealing with the actual issues, why are they not giving you that information that General Khumalo or whoever said we must bring the dockets to Pretoria? Only to hear after. I mean, you gave a very good example that someone comes into your house, he takes your things and then he goes away with them and says, when I was at your house, I took 1, 2, 3, 4. No one can do that at my house. It will never happen. That you come into my house and take something and I don't know about it. So what really happened to these members who are so loyal and so active and so disciplined that they can't tell their commander, only to be embarrassed that his dockets are in Pretoria?
Yeah, honorable members, the command and control, when it's effective, such then happens. Because our structure and our working arrangement was that the members that are doing the job, they understand and they know their commanders. They don't bypass that process. The center was holding. So at the center of this operation was General Khumalo. So when I was getting briefing, Khumalo and the leaders of certain groups will come and brief me about the work they do. I will not engage with the individual member directly. So I was always engaging them in a formal structure all the time when I'm engaging with them. So the problem started in January, as I said. I also learned from General Khumalo that the members are not happy. So when I asked him, what do you mean the members are not happy? He said, because they were supposed to get awards, during the Excellence Awards, and their names have been removed. They're told they're no longer going to be recognized with anything. That's when I went to meet with the members myself. Because when he phoned me, he told me that the members are not happy. So I went to meet with them. For the first time, I had a one-on-one with them. And I asked him, they said, Gerald, we are disappointed. I still said to them, I'm going to give my allocation of one table of 10 people. Come as my guest. Come and sit there. They said, no, we appreciate Gerald, but it's better we don't come. So that was the first time where I had a one-on-one engagement where I got to feel the pain in their eyes. This is January, long before the letter is written. The dockets are taken. I started feeling the pain in their faces in January. Fast forward, the same January or February, there's this instruction of the reduction of the workforce of this team. At that time, I conclude that it is because of the budgetary constraint, that because the budget approval has been reduced, we can therefore not have this total workforce that we had. I accepted that. We are running towards the end of the financial year, reprioritization that must happen. So I did not challenge it. But then the financial year starts in April. Obviously, the budget might not be allocated almost immediately. But again, the team that is authorized to continue the work as a new submission is made in April 2024, it still speaks about the reduced number of deployments. So I concluded that it means the challenge is the budget. That's why the reduced number. So knowing the challenges we have, financial challenges we have as an organization, as a country as a whole, I couldn't challenge that much. I said, okay, well, we'll do with the less number of members maybe going forward. But when this communication of DOC has been taken up to Pretoria came, I then realized, but this problem started back then, the letter, the members not getting rewards, and the members are starting to question themselves from January about the work they are doing, whether they are upsetting the executive and why the executive is treating them like this, up until the period when these dockets in March are taken up to Pretoria. So it's already a couple of months back, and that's why the members, I think, they became numb to complain about anything. And